of Western civilization. And that's a worthwhile goal since it's a good thing to possess a breadth of knowledge and to be prepared should you ever find yourself on Jeopardy, say, or even just find yourself at a swank dinner party someday where some arrogant poser mentions Descartes. Well, having wrestled with Descartes in this course, you'll be equipped to say to the arrogant poser, "Ah, Descartes, yes. What did you think of his separability argument?" So much better to say something like that to the arrogant poser and put him in his place than to say, who's Descartes? And what's an argument? Anyway, as I say, the central goal is the love of wisdom. That's the overarching goal because if you're not a lover of wisdom, you won't be wise. And in this beautiful yet broken world of ours, it's really important to be wise, both for your own sake and, quite honestly, in the troubled times in which we live, for the sake of our very democracy. Now, the problem is that there are many obstacles that stand between us and wisdom. Let me name and describe 5 such obstacles. First, confusion. Truth, which is related to wisdom, is very often difficult to discern. Sometimes it comes to us mixed up and entwined with falsehoods and lies. This no more so than in our current political climate, where there is ubiquitous talk of fake news and alternative facts. It's important both to be clear in your own thinking and to recognize nonsense when you hear it or read it. So let me just say that there's no such thing as alternative facts, or your facts, or my facts. They're just facts, just the ways the world in fact is. It's a fact that grass is green and dinosaurs are extinct. That's not my fact, and you're free to have your own facts according to which grass is purple and there never were such creatures as dinosaurs. The latter aren't facts at all. It's just nonsense. It's similar to those who say such nonsense as this. Look, God may exist for you, but God doesn't exist for me. That's nonsense. Either God exists or God doesn't exist. God doesn't exist for me any more than beavers and caterpillars exist for me. God, beavers, and caterpillars either exist or they don't. And the claim that God exists, or beavers exist, or caterpillars exist, is made true by facts about the world. Anyway, I digress. Here's the point. Sometimes truth gets expressed in complicated and confusing language or prose. Now, I'm going to make it my aim to state things in uncomplicated and simple language, even if most of the people I discuss do not do the same. Deep truths need not be expressed in unnecessarily complicated and jargon-filled language or prose. But do be on the lookout for nonsense in all of your listening and all of your reading and all of your consuming of news and what might call itself news, but is very often nothing more than propaganda and entertainment. Identify the nonsense, name it, and reject it. The survival of our democracy literally depends on it. Now, a second obstacle that stands between us and wisdom is falsehood. Falsehoods are funny things. Now, sometimes people utter falsehoods with the intent to deceive. We have a word for such falsehoods. We call them lies. Other times, though, people embrace and express falsehoods in their honest and sincere attempts to find and express truth. Those aren't lies. They're mistakes or false assertions, but they're not lies. Now, some falsehoods are made manifest through the use of logic and reason, while others are exposed by the searing light of experience.